everyone, my name is Adrienne Finch. Welcome back to the Self-Made CEO podcast. In today's episode, we're introducing for the very first time manifestation and the law of attraction. And then we're going to do a little challenge. I'm going to give you a 9-step process to manifest anything into your life in just 24 hours. Stay tuned. My name is Adrienne Finch, and I believe wholeheartedly that anyone from any background can create the success and happiness that they want. With my proven productivity hacks, business tactics, and a little mindset coaching, this podcast will unlock your greatest potential and transform you into the CEO of your own life, business, happiness, and success. So what are you waiting for? This is the Self-Made CEO podcast. Hello. Welcome back to the podcast. How are you guys doing? This is episode 7. So happy to have you here. I feel like I say every single week, I'm so excited for today's episode, but you guys have no freaking idea how excited I am for today's episode. Manifestation and the law of attraction are things that I have wanted to talk about for so long. I have made a video or two before on YouTube kind of talking and getting into this, but this is something that I discovered and figured out about a year ago. I'm still working on it every day, but I have wanted to share this with you guys for so long because it really is so powerful. It's one of the most fun things to hear about, to think about, and to actually practice in your own life. It's so much fun because it all comes down to you being able to visualize and create any reality that you want, which is a huge foundation of this podcast, as I've mentioned multiple times, is like, guys, we can do anything. You can do anything. I think it's so funny right now. I'm looking out my bedroom window and it's like so bright and sunny. I'm recording this on a Sunday, and all week long during the week, it was like crappy weather. And now I decided to work on Sunday because I had so much piling up. And of course, it's like the nicest day outside. I should be outside, but instead I'm recording this podcast, which actually I really wanted to do. I'm so excited about this episode. I just think it's funny. I hope you guys are doing well. I wonder where you guys are all from and what the weather's like over there. Anyway, okay, getting distracted. So here's what we got going for you guys today. First, I'm going to really just get into the basis and the background, the definition of manifestation, the law of attraction. Some of you may have already worked with this before, may have heard of it before. Others of you, this could be a completely new concept. So I do want to give you guys a little bit of a background as to what is manifestation. What are people talking about? Are they all crazy witches, hippy dippy woo-woo stuff? Or is this stuff real? Hint, it's real. So I'm going to give you guys some definitions, a little bit of background on what is this? Why does it work? Why is it important to know about this? What does this do for you that you want? And what does this do for you actually that you don't want that you may not even know is happening? So why is this important? Why is it important to listen to this and to actually try to practice this in your life? And then we're going to go right on into the 9-step process that will allow you to manifest anything into your life. And we're actually going to do a little challenge today. So I would love if you guys follow along. We're going to start with a 24-hour manifestation challenge. Basically, you are going to pick an object and manifest it in 24 hours. And I'll explain in this episode exactly how to do that so you can follow along. It is so fun, you guys. And it's all practice. You know, manifestation takes time. So by practicing often, you'll be able to do it a lot more efficiently and effectively. So starting off, I got introduced to manifestation about a year ago. First, when I watched The Secret, if you guys haven't seen it, it's pretty old school, like it's very outdated, but that was the moment that I had this aha moment. I talked about this on the last episode where I was like, whoa, hold on, you're telling me that I can have anything I want in the world? Anything. All the success, all the money, all the cars, anything. And I realized, oh my gosh, I can. So that is what first opened me up to even the idea of manifestation, was when I watched The Secret. Then I was so intrigued. I couldn't stop researching. I couldn't stop reading books, listening to podcasts, reading articles. I wanted to know everything about manifestation. How do you do it? Because I'm ready to live my dream life. I was ready to live my dream life. So I started researching, and one of my friends, Andrea, we actually had an amazing conversation about this, which, by the way, if you bring up manifestation to people, you'd be surprised how many people practice this and do this and think about this oh my gosh, I have Uber drivers all the time. I'm like, oh yeah, manifestation, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, yep, it's so real. I do it all the time. And I'm like, wow, I would have never expected that. That's awesome. So my friend Andrea, we were talking about it, and she actually sent me a link to a podcast episode where this woman, Catherine Zenkina, was being interviewed, and she is also known as Manifestation Babe. She has an online company, podcast, everything. It's all about manifestation. So her entire business revolves around that, which is awesome. But what's funny is, like, by listening to her interview on the podcast, I realized I actually really loved the podcast that she was on. And the podcast she was on was called Mind Your Business. It's my all-time favorite podcast. James Wedmore is the host. He's my all-time favorite entrepreneur. He talks a lot about mindset and also a lot about business tactics, which I just think mindset is so important in business. I've said that many times now. The laws of success are universal. So I love that he touches on a lot of mindset stuff, but also business tactics, which is kind of what I'm trying to do here. So I found his podcast and I fell in love. And he actually did an episode a while back where he introduced me to this 9-step process. So the process I'm giving you today actually comes from James Wedmore. It's called the Manifestation Manifesto. So he created a one sheet that outlines the 9 steps and actually gives you some room to write your answers to them. So I'm going to go ahead and link this sheet below in the show notes. If you guys want to download, print, follow along while you're listening to this and fill yours out, I highly encourage it, or you can just listen and kind of think about it and do it later. Either way, definitely I recommend writing it out at some point. Doesn't have to be right now. But yeah, so I actually got this from him and I thought it was so powerful, so insightful that I wanted to share it with you guys. So this is called the Manifestation Manifesto, all about how your thoughts can absolutely change your life. All right, so let's get into some definitions here, okay? Because some of you are probably still sitting there like, what the heck is manifestation? What is this crazy lady talking about? I don't even know what that is. So by definition, if you look in the literal dictionary, the definition of manifestation will be different than this. With what we're talking about, this is what manifestation means. It is something you bring forth into your physical life experience through past thoughts, feelings, or beliefs. Let me say that again. It's something you bring forth into your physical life. So this can be an experience, an object, a person, anything that is brought into your physical life experience through your thoughts, feelings, or beliefs. Okay? So that is manifestation. You are manifesting something into your life using your mind, using your beliefs, your thoughts, your intentions. There are 2 huge reasons why manifestation is important. Why it's important that you're listening to this, why it's important that you are opening your mind to this. Number 1 is that with a little practice and a little focus, you can manifest anything you want into your life. Anything. I mean, holy crap, that's reason enough for me. That is the coolest thing. You can manifest anything. Anything. You just need to learn how and practice. Sounds simple, right? But here's the other reason. Reason number 2 why manifestation is so important is that on the flip side, you can also manifest things you don't want into your life. And this can happen whether you're conscious of it or not. It all comes down to becoming aware that this is happening and then learning to control your thoughts, which will ultimately train your subconscious brain to look for paths to take that will lead you to the things you want to manifest. So everything that is happening right now is a manifestation in some way or another. You are manifesting every single day without even knowing it. So what's incredible about starting to know it and actually starting to control it is that you can stop manifesting things you don't want and simultaneously start manifesting things you do want. So you are manifesting every single day, okay? So when you think about it, everything that is occurring in your life right now, everything that's happened, can be directly traced back to thoughts, feelings, or beliefs that you consciously or unconsciously practiced in the past. So you think, hey, I'm going to go to college and I'm going to get a degree. You had to think that before you physically went to college. You see what I mean? So in its most simple form, every single thing that happened because it originated with a thought or a feeling or a belief. So we can think of manifestation either scientifically or spiritually, and whichever way that you want to think about it, Totally works. You can choose. And humans are logical beings, and I get that. So if you're skeptical about this at first, it's totally okay. A lot of people are. If you're like, okay, no, this is complete horse crap, it's okay. But I invite you to have an open mind and to try this out. I mean, what's the worst that can happen? It doesn't work? Okay, don't ever do it again, right? Try this. I invite you to try. It's really, really fun. That's honestly what it is. It is fun to think about having anything you could possibly desire. This is real, and this is powerful, and you can unlock so much potential and happiness into your life. So I encourage you to try. I encourage you to share this with others. It's fun. Okay. So what scientists have discovered, which you guys probably already know, is that everything, first of all, I'm just going to give you a little bit of like more literal or scientific, if you will, kind of evidence of this, just to really break it down so that you guys aren't like, what the heck is she talking about? I want you to actually have a basis to understand, hey, okay, this is real. This does make sense. So I'm just giving you a little bit of background. So obviously, everything around us is made of energy. Everything, even inanimate objects, a book, your car, your dog, energy. What you had for lunch, energy. And every thought that you had today, energy. Everything is made up of energy. It's all energy. So we've always known that. But what we've discovered more recently is the power of these energies and how they work together to create our reality. The reality that's right in front of our eyes, our physical universe, our experiences, our lives. Energies work together to create that. It's all energy. So positive energy, or higher frequency vibrations, as we like to call it, is attracted to other positive energy. Negative energy, or lower frequency vibrations, is attracted to negative energy. This is also called the law of attraction, which I'm sure you've heard before. And the law of attraction is the most popular of the universal laws. So let me back up for a second because I really want you to understand this. In law and ethics, there are 12 universal laws. So there's 12 universal principles or laws. This is what those are defined as. Principles and rules for governing human beings' conduct, which are most universal in their acceptability, their applicability, translation, and philosophical basis. That's a mouthful, but basically, governing laws, universal laws that are the most widely accepted, applicable, etc. For example, one is the law of cause and effect, which states that every action has a reaction or a consequence. So every cause has an effect. That is a universal law, the law of cause and effect. So back to the law of attraction, it's the most popular and definitely my favorite universal law. I love it. I love researching it. I love practicing it, seeing it happen in everyday life. So at its most basic form, the law of attraction is the philosophy that like attracts like. So positive attracts positive, negative attracts negative. Do you ever feel like when one bad thing happens to you, like 5 more bad things happen to you that same day? Do you ever feel like that? Because, oh my God, that's happened to me so many times. And that's literally the law of attraction at work. So a negative thing that happens to you or whatever creates a negative thought or feeling or outlook, which then attracts more negative things. That lower vibration, that lower frequency attracts other lower frequency vibrations, and it attracts it into your life. So a lot of times these negative feedback loops happen because we don't take the time to understand how our thoughts work and how they are actually shaping our reality. We aren't aware that this is happening, right? Not everyone on the street that you walk up to is going to know what the heck the law of attraction is, or that it happens all the time, that like attracts like. So we just keep thinking the same negative thoughts or feeling bad about ourselves because we don't know the power of these thoughts. We don't understand what's happening. Like I mentioned earlier, we're manifesting all the dang time. All the time. Every single day, and we don't even know it. It's insane. So lucky for us now, there's so much more research and knowledge out there about all of this. So we're actually able to take steps to change what we're manifesting. And that's where this all comes in. So if the doctor told you you'll die if you don't exercise once a week, you'd exercise once a week, right? I would. You know you would. So if I told you you can reverse the negative things that happen to you and thoughts you have and manifest literally anything you want into your life, wouldn't you? I would. So that's what we're going to get started with right here, right now, today, is how can we do that? Let's actually do that. So I wanted to read a quick excerpt from this woman, Kelsey Ada's blog. I was kind of doing some research on the law of attraction, and I found this little excerpt that really does a good job just explaining how powerful manifestation is. So here's what it says. If you want to be, do, or have anything you want, you just have to be aware and stay conscious. Conscious of the thoughts you are thinking, the emotions you are feeling, and the beliefs you may be hiding. You can manifest the life of your dreams by simply choosing the right thoughts, simply staying in touch with your emotions, and simply changing any beliefs that no longer serve you. So it's simple in theory, right? But here's the part. This is now Adrienne talking. Here's the part that is very, very relatable for me. So it's pretty simple in theory, but can be very hard in application, especially the whole controlling your thoughts part. So this is where practice comes in, you guys, because it really is hard to apply it. It's easy to grasp the concept of like, oh yeah, that makes sense. But actually training your brain and rewiring your brain, it's harder. It takes practice, but it is doable. It is so, so, so doable. And you gotta just try. You just try and say, well, all right, let's see what happens. I'm gonna continue the excerpt. Manifestation is a means of creation. Where we focus and whatever we focus on expands. So although it may seem like manifestation is some sort of wizardry, it's actually quite simple. You get what you focus on. I simply choose to focus on the things that I want in life, and the universe conspires to help me get it. Easy. So that is the excerpt from the blog. I thought just did a really good job kind of embodying what it is. It's basically that your thoughts dictate your reality. And I'll talk more in future episodes about really kind of the scientific backing behind this, neuroplasticity, your reticular activating system in your brain, like how your subconscious mind actually works so that you can grasp this even further. Because of course, like your brain's going to run into these issues where you're like, wait, this isn't logical. Like there's no way. And that's normal. It's your brain's reaction, but this is real. So I will provide you with more evidence, more support so that you can be like, oh yeah, okay. But I invite you to believe, be a believer, okay? Because this shit works. All right, so enough talk. We're going to start manifesting right now. But before we do that, let's take a quick break. We'll be right back. All right, and we are back, you guys. Oh my God, here's where the fun part comes in. So now we've talked a little bit about what is manifestation, what is the law of attraction. Now we are going to take 9 steps, 9 questions you're going to ask yourself. And then you will be able to manifest something within 24 hours. So I'm going to just pull up that worksheet from James Wedmore. Remember, the link is in the description of the show. So if you guys want to use this sheet, this is what I'm going off of right now. All right. So step number 1 is to describe what you are manifesting. So here's my recommendation. Start with something really, really, really small. Something super small, like a coin, a butterfly, some sort of object that you don't care about, you have no attachment to. I'd like to say like the hardest thing about manifesting for me is not attaching myself to the outcome. So if you want to manifest more money, for example, so that you can pay rent, it's hard to not like freak out about it potentially not working since you obviously need to pay your rent, right? So you're very attached to that. Why we're starting with something super, super small is that it's easier to detach from it. If I don't find a coin, it's not going to change my life, right? So start with something small so that we can practice this so that you can start believing because you actually see this work. Once you see this work, you're going to be like, oh my God, I want to try manifesting bigger things. So we will get there. Start with something very small, okay? Then pick a time. It says, and by when. So describe what you're manifesting and by when. So you're going to pick a time. For this purpose, you guys, we're going to do 24 hours. But another thing is that usually with manifestation, it is hard to put a timestamp on things because it puts more pressure on you. And like I said, we have to detach from the how and the when that this is going to happen. And that's something we have to train ourselves through practice is letting go of the outcome and letting go of how and when it happens and just letting it happen. So not searching for the path, not searching for a solution, but just letting go and letting it happen, forgetting about the how and when and just letting it happen the way it's supposed to happen, right? Okay, so 24 hours. Step 2 says, by the way, I'll do this with you. So I'm going to be trying to manifest a butterfly, okay? Let's just say that. I'm going to manifest a butterfly in 24 hours. So I'm going to write, I will manifest a butterfly in the next 24 hours. So by, let's see, right now it's Sunday at 2. So by Monday at 2, I will have manifested a butterfly. Hello, motorcycle outside. All right, step number 2, describe how having this will make you feel. So a huge part of visualizing, meditation, vision boards is not only visualizing like what the thing is, but actually embodying the emotions and the feelings that you get when you have it. And the reason that's a big part is, like I was talking about earlier with the like attracts like, the lower vibration frequencies and the higher vibration frequencies. You want to actually feel these emotions and emit these frequencies. So it's easier when you choose big things that make you feel these emotions. Like obviously if I was manifesting a new car, like I can so easily and vividly visualize the emotional response I'll have when I get that car. Like I will be freaking stoked, right? It's easier when it's bigger. But the point here is to practice connecting your feelings because it's the vibrational energy. It's that good, positive, high frequency vibration that allows you to control your reality. So I'm going to say that manifesting this butterfly will make me feel accomplished, happy, in awe, because I will know that this works. And that is going to be such an amazing realization. And by the way, guys, of course, I already know this works. But for the sake of this exercise, I'm giving you examples and I will actually be doing this with you. So I'll feel amazing, okay? So describe how it'll make you feel. That's step 2. Step number 3 says, on a scale of 1 to 10, what is your level of believability? So what that means is how much do you believe that this is really going to happen? If you're like, oh yeah, without a doubt, totally going to happen, no questions asked, then your believability is at a 10. If you're a little bit skeptical, you might be at a 7, 8, 9. And if you're like, no, there's no freaking way, then you're at the bottom at like a 1 or 2. So this is actually the most important step because you won't be able to manifest anything into your life unless you believe that you can. You know the phrase, I'll believe it when I see it. So we're actually flipping that around here and we're saying, I'll see it when I believe it. So when you believe that you can manifest, when you believe that you will get that new car, you will see the car in your reality, not the other way around, right? I love that quote. I'm pretty sure I've already said it on the podcast. So what is your level of believability? And you guys, you basically have to be at a 10 for manifestation to work. If you're not, you at least have to be in the mindset of letting go of that outcome. Like, okay, well, this will either work or not, but who cares? That's okay too for this. But ultimately, you really do need to fully, wholeheartedly believe that this is real and that this can happen in order for this to happen. So that's why we start with small things too, is so that hopefully your level of believability is very high. Like I fully believe I will see a butterfly in 24 hours, not only because I know manifestation works, but also because that's not super like unrealistic. And if it's not easy for you to believe it, if your level of believability is not very high right now, ask yourself why not. Say, why don't I believe this? And then maybe choose something at first that's easier to believe. Because of course, this doesn't happen overnight if you're having some issues. But try your best to just believe it. Just truly wholeheartedly believe this will happen, okay? Step 4 says, draw a symbol that represents your manifestation. So we hear people talking about symbols all the time when they talk about vision boards, visualizing. It's usually pictures, things that you can see. So what symbol, when looking at it, will remind you of the thing that you're trying to manifest? So for me, I think it would be a butterfly. I mean, that's pretty self-explanatory. But if it's something else, what symbol, when you look at it, is going to trigger your mind and say, oh yeah, that. I'm thinking about that. I'm focusing on that. So draw a symbol on a piece of paper. Actually draw one. I recommend drawing it, sticking it on your wall, your mirror, whatever. So step 5 says, on a scale of 1 to 10, what is your level of detachment with this? So what that means is, how attached are you to this outcome? How attached am I to finding a butterfly? Pretty much a 0. If I find a butterfly or I don't find a butterfly, it's not going to change my life, right? Well, I mean, finding it will be like, yay, manifestation works, so that's going to change my life. But I'm saying the actual butterfly itself, finding it or not finding it, the actual object, I'm completely detached. So I am at a 10. If you're trying to manifest rent, for example, your rent money, your level of detachment is probably pretty low because you care a lot about your rent and therefore you're attached to getting it. And if you don't get it, you're worried or you might lose your apartment or whatever. So the stakes are high, right? So you might be at a 1. You're like, oh my God, I am not detached. I am fully attached. So this is challenging because it goes against our nature, right? We're actually wired to enter survival mode. And if you can't pay your rent, you're wired to think that you won't be okay. It'll be the end of the world. You'll get kicked out of your house, whatever it is. We're wired to think that way. So this is tough, but the thing that you have to do is just let go of all of that. No matter what, just let it go. If you don't manifest the rent, you just have to know that it'll work out. You won't know how. Remember, you don't know how, you don't know when. You're just like, you have to believe it'll work out. It will work out. You got to believe that for this to happen, for this to work. So at first, if this is hard to believe, you guys, then trick your mind and just tell yourself it will work. Just tell yourself it'll work out, even if you're like, oh my God, no, it won't. Tell yourself it will until you truly believe it. That's a real thing. You can actually convince yourself of something. So tell yourself, this will work. This will work, right? Okay. So then it says, if you're at a 6 or lower, meaning you're not completely detached, you have some attachment, it says, what will you make it mean if you don't get this? So let's say you're trying to manifest a new friend and no one comes into your life. Are you going to make it mean that you suck and no one likes you and no one wants to be your friend? Or are you going to just let go and know that it'll work out and know that you're worthy of friendship and that someone will find you, you will find someone. You're just going to let it go. Which one are you going to do, right? What will it mean if you don't get this? And this might shine some light on what's stopping you, what is limiting you, what is restricting you. So remember, you are in charge of the meaning that you attach to things that happen to you. I've talked about this before. It's all up to you. So the second that you decide to control what it means to you, if you don't get your rent on time, if you don't, get that butterfly, the second you realize you're in control, you can change it. You can decide, nope, I'm letting it go because this works and this is going to happen. All right. So that's step number 5. Step number 6 says, what are you willing to let go? Okay. So what are you willing to let go of in order to make this happen? So for me, I'm willing to let go of my fear that my brain isn't strong enough for this. I'm afraid that I can't do this, right? Sometimes I'm afraid of that, especially with things that are super high stakes. I fear that my brain isn't strong enough to make this happen. And I know that it is, but here's the thing. We're logical, reasonable human beings, and this isn't traditional. It goes against what we're taught and what we're wired to think. It's not how society views the world, or it's not how a lot of society views the world. And a lot of manifesting is unlearning things we've been told our whole lives about what's possible, what's not possible. The evidence for this is there. It is there that your thoughts and your subconscious are controlling what's happening in your life and what happens to you. Remember, like attracts like. So we got to unlearn a lot of those things that we've been told our whole lives. So what are you willing to let go? Are you willing to let go of your fear of failure, your fear of losing something? Are you willing to let go of your fear of being rejected? Are you willing to let go of your fear of being kicked out of your apartment if you don't pay your rent? Remember, we're starting with small things, but I'm just using that example. So write down, what are you willing to let go of? Any inhibitions? Is that the right word? Anything limiting you. Okay. Step number 7 is, when this manifestation occurs, describe what it will look like in present tense. So how will you celebrate? What will you feel? What will it look like? So for me, I think when this manifestation occurs, when I see a butterfly, I am going to be so happy. It'll look like a butterfly and it'll be this aha moment of, oh my God, this worked. I'm so happy. I'm going to celebrate by choosing another thing to manifest in the next 24 hours and doing it. So just write down, what does it look like when you manifest this? Step number 8 says, list 3 things you're grateful for in this realm. So gratitude, you guys, you've probably heard this all the time, is so, so, so important when controlling your life and when manifesting. And when we're being grateful, when we're saying, statements of gratitude, you want to make sure you're thinking about what you do have, not what we don't have. So remember, you guys, the law of attraction, which is like attracts like, it doesn't know the difference between what you don't want and what you do want. If you're thinking about what you don't want and what you don't have, you're going to get more of that because your subconscious brain doesn't know the difference. It doesn't know that you're saying, no, I don't want this. It doesn't know the difference between I want this and I do not want this. All it focuses on is the this. What is the thing that you're thinking of? It doesn't know that you don't want that thing. You are still focusing on that thing. If I tell you, don't think of a white shoe, what are you thinking of? A white shoe, right? even when people mean well, like let's say someone says, I don't want to hurt anyone. Your brain still hears that as just, I want to hurt people. I want to hurt people. Because all it's focusing on is hurting people. It's not focusing on the fact that you said, no, I don't want to hurt people. I don't want a parking ticket. Your brain hears, I want a parking ticket. So start practicing shifting your thoughts from the negative to the positives, okay? And when you're writing these things that you're grateful for, state them in the positive form. So I have friends, I have love, I have a roof over my head, I have food every day to eat. Don't say things like, I don't have bills, I don't have a stressful relationship. Say, I do have a loving, caring relationship, right? So that's step 8. And then finally, step number 9, it says next required action. So you're going to list your next required action. So remember, manifesting isn't possible without inspired action. Nothing's possible without action, right? So visualizing is amazing and you have to do it. Visualizing is key. But if you visualize on your couch with your eyes closed all 24 hours, you're not going to manifest anything, right? You can't go out looking for it, but you do have to take action. So don't look for a solution. Don't look for, I'm looking for a butterfly, so I'm going to go to the park and just sit at the park for 24 hours. Don't do that. But do take action. So what is your next required action? So for me, I'll say my next action is to draw a butterfly, tape it to my bathroom mirror, and go to the bathroom once an hour for the next 24 hours and just look at the butterfly. Okay, that's just something I made up. What is your next action? What are you doing next? Even if it's just like forgetting about it. Great. Okay. But make sure that you're focused on setting that intent, setting I will manifest this into my life in 24 hours. Think about it, focus on it, and then live your life. Go about your day to day. So those are the 9 steps, you guys. I hope that you followed along. And I'm really curious to see how you guys do with this. So remember, the main keys are just start with something really, really small, okay? And then also, if this doesn't work for you, don't give up. Don't give up. This takes practice. If you don't manifest this in 24 hours, then you did something wrong. You needed to focus more. You needed to believe it more. Ask yourself when it doesn't happen. If you guys don't successfully manifest this, ask yourself what went wrong. Did you not focus enough on it? Did you not visualize it? Did you have some doubts in your mind? Because remember, if you don't believe it, it won't happen. You have to believe it. So force yourself to believe it and you will see it happen. If it doesn't happen, alter something that you're doing. Reflect on what you are doing, okay? I encourage you to have that attitude instead of just saying, this doesn't work. This is complete bullshit. Okay? Because trust me, I've been there. Like, it is hard. It's hard to believe, but it is real. And when you guys see it happen, with this small thing, you'll be like, oh my God. And if you guys need even more further proof, literally Google like manifestation stories. Like, there are thousands, millions of people who talk all the time about things they've manifested. It's incredible. So I encourage you guys to try this. I am so obsessed with this. I love manifestation. I love the concept of it. I love everything about it. I highly encourage you guys to try this. Let me know how it goes, okay? You guys can hit me up on Instagram at ADRIENNE or at The Self-Made CEO. The links will be also in the show notes. You can email me at theselfmadeceo@gmail.com. Basically, tag me in anything ever. And I want to know how you guys did. I think I'll do an episode in the future. James Wedmore did this on Mind Your Business, but I think I'll do an episode in the future where I actually have you guys record audio clips of you explaining like a brief manifestation story. And I would love to compile those and create an episode out of it. So when this happens to you and when this starts happening, write down what happens, okay? Because in the future, I'm going to ask you guys to submit stories of things that you've manifested. All right, you guys, that is the episode for today. I love this topic. I'll definitely get into it more, in future episodes and how it can relate to business and the rest of your life. But I invite you to just open your mind, start thinking about this, and start becoming a believer and start noticing ways in which you're manifesting things, even subconsciously. Start noticing how things are coming into your life, even without you meaning to. It's amazing. It really honestly is amazing. So that is the episode. Remember to subscribe on Apple Podcasts or anywhere that you guys listen to podcasts. Remember to follow the social. Thank you so much for all of your reviews and ratings. Every little bit helps. I appreciate you guys. I hope you have an awesome week. Thank you for listening. I will catch you in the next episode. Bye-bye.